How you going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Swatty here for another tutorial video. This is the first one I've made since the 0.7 drop, so I'm going to make it a character creation video, and we'll just start over with our tutorial character. In the multiplayer, I use this face, so I think I'm going to use this face for Waddy now. If you haven't seen any of my multiplayer videos, I'm doing a co-op series with that Corrupted Gamer. I will put some links down there in the description to her channel. Go check those out. But for this video, we are going to talk about our attribute values here. So in the game, intelligence is the only stat where we can't increase it in games. So if you want to max out your character, if that's your aim, you need to start your intelligence off with 5. So normally I wouldn't focus on upping these, but we might as well give it a go. So we're going to have to take a few attributes off of every one, a few points off of every attribute to get that to the 5. Strength, I don't like to go much below 3 because of crossbow use. I'm not a big crossbow user, but recently I've been working on single player characters that do use crossbows, so I've found that having your strength below 3 makes it really hard to reload those crossbows. So if you're going to take a crossbow wielding character, you want to keep that above 3. But that looks pretty alright, because I mean it's not going to matter too much for this series, and we can work on building them up as well. That'll give me something to do tutorials on further down the track. You can change your bits, but for YouTube purposes I got to keep it concealed, so it's not going to matter too much. It doesn't change any attributes, whereas it used to. Your constitution, although it's not a huge part now, it's going to be, I think, in the next update or so, because they're bringing in infections and diseases, poisons. I think they just brought in the poisons actually with the mushrooms. But I'm fairly sure you're going to want to get some points into... Oh, I'll show you that over the page. Here we go. We'll go that. In your constitution, you're going to have to bring your endurance up to protect you from infections, that sort of thing. So I'm going to leave that like that. I mean, your running's just your speed, as well as how long you can run at that speed, and you work on that by jogging and running. That will increase in time. Yeah, and your endurance will be your carrying heavy loads and how you're able to move under those heavy loads, and how you'll be able, your metabolism, the rate which you go through water and energy, the calories you're burning and that sort of thing. That's all under endurance here too. So we'll jump back to our strength. We'll start over here. Brawling, I mean, it is what it is. It's not something that I recommend. I think that they could work on it. I think that if they brought in some kind of martial arts type fighting, where you had combinations and that sort of thing, it might be more interesting. But for now, it's not. For this character, I'll just take a bit of basic in all of them to start with, and I'll just put a bit more into melee. But you know yourself what you want to do. I highly recommend archery. Bows are OP in this game, whether it be the a crafted one, an improvised one, or the composite with the built-in scope. Both are really, really good weapons. They're quiet, and you know, the better strength of the bow, the better your range is going to be. So that's what, yeah, I recommend archery. And you should always take melee, because I mean that's how you're starting. You don't want to get them in close quarters, but they will, regardless of how much you want to keep them at a distance. There's going to be a time when they're up in your face, and you're going to want to be able to take care of yourself. So those two, I believe, are a must. And yeah, I mean, let's face it, we're here for the guns, depending on which type you want. Down our decks, I always take medium for thievery, because I like to know that I can get into the drop boxes with a crowbar. I mean, there are other ways, but crowbars are easy. They don't really require anything other than stamina to get them open, and a crowbar. But the issue is the damaging and the time that it takes. So anything lower than a medium, trying to get into those crates, is going to damage your items too much. Not even worth it. And then, I mean, you got driving or motorcycle. You can take your pick which one you want, but you're not going to be able to get it started without some skill. I think probably basic on both for this. Oh, I can't even do it. Maybe near basic on both. That way I got a chance to level up. But stealth is really important too. I don't care about it for this character, but normally you'd want to put some into stealth, because that is the noise that you're making when you're doing activities like jumping through the window, or you know, when you're in your crouch position and trying to sneak up on somebody. It affects the zombies and the mechs' ability to hear you. So it is really important. I mean, and then you've got demolition, so you're defusing the bombs on the zombies, if that's your thing. If you can take one out with a headshot, and then quickly get in there and get that C4 off of him, off of these the beepers. And yeah, I think you got like 60 seconds or something to do that. Yeah, that's beyond me. But yeah, that, and I think they use it for the kill box as well, to get into the electrified locks, maybe. Brawling, pretty straightforward what that is. Again, not something I use. Maybe in a character coming up, I do actually have intentions of using some throwing, but that's a little ways down the track. And yeah, and aviation of planes, also not interested in that. But if you want to fly the planes that have just come out in the 0.7 update, take some aviation skill, because the last thing you want is to find one and not be able to fly it. Intelligence, awareness, pretty important. I'm not super concerned about too much here. Probably should have high engineering if I'm going to do some base building. And maybe a little bit of this, but I can level that up pretty quick. and a bit in sniping. As it turns out, I actually have more points here than what I usually would, because I usually wouldn't build a character with high intelligence. So there, I'm happy with that. Your medical is patching yourself up, but I believe when they bring in this infection stuff, it's going to have a lot more to do with that, with whether you're able to patch your infections and your wounds up and stuff. And also in multiplayer, I believe that helps you to heal and revive your teammates. Most teams like to have a medic, so they would have really high medical. Engineering is your base building, using it unlocks the tiers of things that you can build. I think the well is something everyone kind of aspires to build, and you need an advanced engineering for that, I believe, as well as putting down a flag out of the prerequisites to building that well. Survival will give you a compass, but I don't need a compass. Like, you don't need a compass if you kind of know where you are, and as you drop in, you can kind of get a gist of which direction you're facing, depending on your knowledge already of the map. So that'll get you started. Also, you can kind of just cheat by hitting the map button and watching which way your dot goes as you run. It's not very tactical, but it works if you want to know which direction you're going. Camouflage is pretty obvious. I don't care too much for this character. I play mostly single player and PvE servers, so it's not something that I work on, but if you're a PvP player, yeah, you want some skill in camouflage. You also don't want to be running around in a bright orange jumpsuit, so you probably want to get yourself some camouflage gear anyway, and then just hide in some bushes or crawl around on the ground, and you'll build your camouflage up like that. Sniping is pretty much using any of the scopes. Getting kills with by using scopes. Yeah, if it's got a scope on it and you use it, that's going to level up your sniping. And your awareness, I believe, is the gear around you, and it helps you to pinpoint where noises are coming from, of animals and zombies and mechs, and yeah, so I'm just a bit off of medium there. It won't take long to get that up. Yeah, so that is, I believe, everything worth talking about in these skills. Everything else is fairly straightforward. But yep, that's it. Apparently my name is already taken. Okay. I probably have not deleted my other one. Let's just go with that then. That will work. Alright, and now I'm also going to take you through the parachuting in. So we'll do that, and then that will be the end of the video. Okay, so here we are. Alright, so we know that's up north there, because that's the snow. And we're just head for some land here. Computer is glitching out. You just hold down your controls there and steer to kind of what you want to come at, and then pull your chute with your F key and drift down. You can hold your buttons in and you'll continue along the direction that you want. I have a feeling I am on the north west half of the map, maybe in the D4 area, maybe C4.
Secure communication
C4.
with human
There we go.
asset established.
There we go, and she's done, and we're ready to go. Now I'll put a link in to the start of the series. There's a getting started video. No, I put a character creation video in the middle of a series, but yeah, I was just kind of holding off for the 0.7 update. I thought there might be a few other skills and stuff, but they only really added that aviation skill in there, which doesn't even affect me. So yep, we're done. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah, check out the rest of the series, guys. See you next time. Later.